Okay, pardon me. I don't wanna have no parts of me. She'll climb to me.
Here with the last question, part 3, whatever it's called, whatever it is, trio. I don't know. What's 3 in Spanish? Tres. All right. Here with the last question. We have some technical difficulties, but you know you always work through everything. Not professional yet, but working to get there. So we have Drew. What's the last?
Kind of started off. I'm scared to like actually reread it now because he's like reading it outside. Like I got this. I never knew my father. No, I'm joking. It says, "Do you get permission to go out from your significant other?"
Did you want me to start?
It's up to you. You want to jump on it?
I'll start. So here's the way I look at it, right?
I gotta start the timer. Hold on.
Oh, okay.
You good?
You can go.
It's
Okay.
right there.
Well, I don't get
Shit, it is right.
permission from my partner to go out. I feel like I'll talk with my partner about it. I feel like conversation is important. So knowing the relationship that you guys have, talking about it is important for them, like to know where you're at for your safety. But just so that they're tracking, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like I'm not going to ask my man if I can go out. I'll let him know that I plan on going out. And if there's anything that may construe or something that may ultimately come up, you know, that might mess it up and mess my plans up. But I'm not going to go over and be like, hey, is it okay if I go out tonight? You know, I don't know if you wanted me to. Like, I'm not going to do that. I feel like that's a little... That's a little too much. But I will let my man know that I'm going out. I feel like that's the same thing with like what you're wearing. I know some people will be like,
so we gonna bring this up? We gonna bring this up?
I feel like,
we gonna bring this up now?
Touch base
No, I'm joking.
Like, I'm not gonna ask my man to I'm not gonna ask my man like if he likes what I'm wearing, right? I feel like I'm gonna dress for myself, and ultimately I would hope that he likes what I choose. I mean, I'll take his opinion into consideration, but ultimately I dress for myself. Like the same with all of us. When you get dressed, when you go shopping, you pick out clothes that you like, right? I mean, like if you know your significant other likes a certain color, or they think you look good in a certain thing, you might take that into consideration and you might buy that, right? But I feel like that's the same thing. If my plans are going off of like what you're doing, and if I'm asking you, I feel like it's like, I don't know, I just feel like it's doing too much. I feel like it's too much. It's just too much. But yeah, I'm not gonna ask my significant other for permission to go out.
That's interesting. So I agree with you. I do understand there's different dynamics in relationships, or there's different dynamics and different kinks in relationships.
Right.
So some people like that. I think this question is more like how you said, like you'll let them know just to see if you intrude, because you have to understand your partner if they want quality time. What if they're like trying to set up a surprise for you? Like, hey babe, don't go out this weekend. You never know.
Right.
If you don't give them that option, I think this question can go into the aspect of I come home, you're getting dressed, you're going out the door, and you're like, I'm going to go out. Like, and then I'm like, oh. Right. I didn't know you were going out. I really was hoping to come home and spend time with you. I had a tough day. And then, so I think with that, it comes with, in the sense of asking permission. The word sounds bad, but I would say you just address your partner.
Right.
Just figure out what you and your partner agree with. Like, hey, it's like, this weekend the boys want to kick it, like, because the guys usually have to tell their women, in that sense of like, hey, the guys want to kick it this weekend. You ain't got nothing planned. You ain't like trying to. Is it cool? I get out. So I get that permission asking. In a sense, not really asking permission is just letting them know, like, yo, I want to make plans.
Right.
Are we good? Because at the end of the day, if you have a relationship, that comes first. That's your priority. You take care of your home as a man and a woman. So that's your priority. If you have kids, it's all the same thing. So you want to make sure, especially when you have little jits involved, you got to make sure that you are like communicating with each other, because otherwise a person will feel like you left me at home all the time with the kids, compared to like, so I think the word permission, it just comes off a little wrong. Like, why would I ask you permission? But in a sense, I'm trying to think of a word for it, but like you just check in with your partner, be in that one-on-one accord, so that way they know. So I don't know, it all depends. I had a relationship where I had to ask permission, and it was a little weird.
It was weird?
Yeah, it was a little weird. It didn't last long, I'll tell you that much. No, I'm messing with you. No, I did have a relationship where she wanted me to ask, and I was just like, for why? And I wasn't trying to be like the guy, like, you can't tell me nothing, but I was curious. And she told me why, and I was like, oh, okay. And I understood it wasn't that the reason why it didn't work out. And then, That wasn't the reason why it didn't work out. She's just nuts, so I just laughed. No, I'm joking.
All right, so let me ask you this, Joe. So, do you feel as a man, do you owe an explanation to your boys or to your woman? Or you think as a man, I don't owe you shit unless I want to give you an explanation?
You've asked a very wrong person. No, for me, I have a different mindset. So I know the manly man. I have 3 brothers, all 3 different spectrums of the world. And I don't mean I call other people my brothers, but I have all spectrums of men that I know in my life. My older brother, hell no. That's just him. He ain't explaining nothing to nobody. Your man do what he does. As long as the food on the table you ate, don't ask no questions. That's him.
Nigga did like that. I thought he saved me back in.
So that's just him. That's who he is. But in the sense of, I would say, for me being a relationship person, that's what my main focus was in my degree. You have to figure out if that partner, if you guys have the same goals as far as your relationship first, or as your friends first. I actually dated somebody who their friends was above their relationship, which was uncomfortable for me. I knew it. I tried to make it work, but I felt like this person would give their friends more explanation than they would give to me because they didn't need to, which was downplayed because in my aspect, my relationship comes first. If I'm going to marry you and be with you, you're the overall person I need to make sure I check in with and explain myself to. And also it all depends on your group. For me, I have a lot of vulnerability with the men I talk to in my life. So I do explain myself to them because they actually ask the deep questions but why did you do it? Where did that stem from? Where are you going? And it makes my mind grow a little bit bigger that it's not this one situation. This is why I act this way. Oh, maybe something I learned when I was 5. And so, but I'm more of a relationship person. Keep your relationship nice and tight because at the end of the day, that person's going to give you what your friends are not going to give you. And we can talk about the sexuality aspect of it. We can talk about the other nurturing aspect of it. Your boy's going to always be there for you, but this person actually gives you extra. Maybe your kids. You're not going to go have kids with your boys. So you know what I mean? You have to, I believe the relationship should be number one. If you can go back into religion or anything like that, they talk about that. You put God, your relationship, you go through that whole aspect. They don't say put your friends, put these people that like you so much before somebody you actually care about. So.
Well, actually, I was going to ask you something different.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
That was just a question. That was just a question for him.
He answered it really well, though.
Yeah. So, damn, my bad. I felt like I did. You ready for the question?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah.
Positive?
Yeah.
Okay. So, Diamond, let me ask you this. Do you tend to let's say your boyfriend, husband, whatever? Mm-hmm. Would you say would you get in between their relationships, your boyfriends or husband relationship, saying how can I say it all right, if you know the dudes he hang with is no good, how would you handle that?
So I feel like ultimately it's not I'm not gonna say my job because that just sounds bad, but it's up to you to figure out which route you're gonna take, right? I can give you my opinion, and my opinion is gonna stem from a place of understanding you and understanding what you want, especially if you're my spouse or significant other. You know what I mean? I understand you, I understand what you want, and if the people in your life that you hang around often aren't going in the same direction you're going, I'll make sure I'm gonna note that to you. I would hope you would take that into consideration, but ultimately it's your decision, right? Like with anything in life, I mean, if you want to make an investment into something or if you want to follow through with something, I feel like ultimately it's your decision. You have the final say, but you do have in some situations, in some relationships that, I mean, you don't really get that say. You don't get to have a say on, who you hang out with or who their friends are because I don't know, for whatever other reason. But I feel like as for me, I would definitely make note of it and I would definitely tell you, but I feel like I would want you to make the decision for yourself, right? I feel like I'd want you to be able to understand and be like, hey, okay, my wife or my girlfriend pointed this out and I feel like you should be able to make that decision. If I have to literally drag you and be like, these people aren't good for you, da 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 da. I want to be able to sit down and have a conversation with you as to for these reasons, like this is what you want out of life, and if you continue down this path, this is what's gonna happen to you. Like I feel like whatever you invest the most time into, whether that be people or in things, if it's not something that's secure, ultimately you're risking the future of yourself and the people around you. So I feel like if it's to the point where what I'm saying to you isn't like clicking, and I feel like I need to like step back to make sure that I'm good, because if it's something that's endangering not just the relationship, but like for your significant other, their job or whatever they may have going on, if you're making a bad investment into people and a bad investment into other things, I feel like you're gonna have to take a step back as a spouse, as a girlfriend, or as whatever. You know what I'm saying? Especially if it's not for their own good. That's just my opinion.
Damn. A lot going through my head right now. I don't know what to say no more. No. I'm just gonna fuck around. But do y'all got anything for me? Y'all wanna ask me a question? Y'all gotta ask me something, I don't care. Y'all don't got a question, then that's good. Just fuck it.
You're gonna trust all the way now.
I don't think I have a question.
That's good. Jackson.
I got a question.
What's up?
Do you look for a woman to be more submissive or to challenge you?
If you know me as a person, if you know Scotty, Keandre, Dre, whichever one, I think I'll go for more of a submissive type. Because it's in fact, I don't like a woman trying to test me. I don't like that shit. Only like dudes testing me. But my reason being is because like I got as people say, strong mind or whatever, got a strong personality. And that shit, it just don't mix. But I mean, can I have a woman that does give me that little like, no, Scott, like you ain't doing that. I'm like, all right, whatever. I might chill for a little bit. I might be quiet. It might be whatever. But me as a person, I go for more of the submissive type. But can I talk to a girl that's probably dominant in a way? Yeah, to a certain extent. It's always to a certain extent. But yeah, submissive, hands down. I'm sorry. I can't, bro.
What would you say for yourself?
For myself, what do you mean?
For Drew.
Oh, for Drew? Shit, no.
I'm a difficult person, so I like to challenge in a way. My mom was a strong person. A lot of people women who I looked up to were strong women. So not saying they're not submissive. That word submissive can like get construed. Being submissive is not bad. I think you're supposed to be a level of submissive to your partner. That's vulnerability. So for me, I do want the challenge because I like to see the growth in people. I like to see, and not like bad challenge where it's like you're just a difficult person to deal with, but a challenge to where you help me grow as an individual to grow with you. If I got a submissive individual, like too submissive in a sense for me, it wouldn't work out because like I like to be challenged. I come from a football background, so how do I know I'm getting better? How do I learn? I like to challenge myself for that. One reason why I joined the military was for a challenge, because I thought I was conquering things where I was at, and I did want another career growth, but I knew the challenge of, following orders, different things like that, falling in line, certain things like breaking down these barriers for myself. So for me and a woman, I want the person to understand what submissive means. It's not a bad thing. There's times to submit, there's times not to, but I do want that challenge. And
that's how I look at it too. That's why I say it's more of a balance type of thing, because you gotta know in any relationship, anything, even friendships, you gotta know the person that you're dealing with, because if you don't, then it could go bad. It can go bad. Like, I don't mind talking to a woman. Like I said, I don't mind talking to her dominant personality. I mean, it's gonna be whatever.
Would you like to answer that question?
Yeah, I was gonna do that too.
I mean, I guess I can do it from the woman's point of view. I feel like it's kind of hard to explain. I feel like I don't mind being submissive, right? But I'm not gonna say I'm gonna test you, right? But I'm definitely going to like make you think. I'm definitely gonna make you like second guess what you're saying, but I guess like make you take more consideration as to like what you're saying, or give deeper thought to it. I feel like with being submissive, it's hard to say, y'all. It's a balance for sure, but I feel like overall it's like at times I'll be submissive. You know what I mean? So I don't mind being submissive, but that's just not in my nature to just be like all the time, you know, what you need, I'm here. I mean, I am, but this is hard to give from like a woman's point of view.
Do you want to push over? Like, all right.
Oh, like for
so
a man?
so now here goes. So then you got this question. Do y'all believe in alpha or betas?
I don't like this, but yeah, go ahead.
But it's just I'm just.
So here's what I'd say. I don't want a marshmallow man, right?
All right,
Like,
okay.
I don't want a big old softie. Like every time I ask for something, you know, they're gonna be like, oh, you know, whatever you want, I'm gonna give it to you. I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with that, right? I don't mind like getting stuff that I want, but I don't want it to be like you're just a marshmallow. Like anything I say, like there's like a lot of strong women in our family, and I feel like I grew up like having to be the same way, right? Like if you have like women in your family who, I'm not gonna say they like to argue, but they like to have discussions and they want to have deep discussions. They want to get your point of view. Like you can't just ease your way into the conversation or ease your way out. Like you're gonna have to like go in like saying your point of view and stand strong on what you like, what you're feeling and what your opinion is. So I feel like for me, I don't want a man who's a complete marshmallow, but I don't want a man who thinks they're just gonna be dominant and like tell me what to do all the time, because that's not gonna go. Like I'm not gonna go for that. But I feel like having a balance. Like, yes, I want you to be able to have the conversations with me, like, where, you know, you want me to submit, and that's fine. But I feel like you can't, no. Like, being a marshmallow, being someone who's just completely soft and, like, allows anything to happen. Because I feel like, here's the best way to explain it. I feel like for women, it's hard to be submissive if you don't feel like your man can play that dominant role when it's important, right? Mm-hmm. So like if I feel like you can't handle that, then I feel like I'm gonna have to do that. So you're not gonna get, I'm not gonna say the feminine side, but you're not gonna get that submissive side of me. You're not gonna get that complete feminine side, because I feel like I have to play a role all the time. You know what I mean? So if I feel like I have to, when we're riding around, like in the car or something, and I feel like I gotta sit like this instead of sitting back with like my legs crossed, like that's a problem. You know what I mean? If you never feel like you can, be a woman around your man, if you feel like that's your bitch, I'm sorry, but like if you feel like that, like that's not okay. You know what I mean? Like you shouldn't feel like that. So I
I'm
feel
gonna note that next time.
No, but like I don't know. Like I promise you, I went out with this one guy, and it was just like the most awful experience. My mom was like, "He's such a sweet guy." I was like, "Mom, that man is soft like a marshmallow." Like I don't know. I want a man who has some substance. You know what I mean? Like I want somebody who's like, you know, like I want somebody who's gonna tell me no when it's important. I want somebody who's gonna tell me the hard truth, whether if I want to hear it or not. You know what I mean? So having somebody who's just like completely marshmallow or completely submissive and isn't able to balance that, I feel like that's just as dangerous as being one or the other.
Sit the fuck down while I'm talking. It's one of them things right there. But no. It's just a sense of security. That's all it is too, man. That plays a big role in it. But I do want to say I appreciate y'all for the great answers, the time that y'all gave. This little 2 hours went out with what it was and working through like whatever went through behind the scenes. I really appreciate y'all, because without y'all, this would not have been a good day, a good episode. So once again, thank you. I appreciate you. Like, comment, subscribe, share, whatever. Have a good night. Like that as are you recording? You doing it? Alright, so listen, if you like my content, if you like my videos, please like, comment, subscribe, and just share the video. Let's make the channel grow, let's get together. Alright, you can stop it.